Navdurgas of Sales. So today we have with us Ms.Shagorika Heryani. Shagorika is the Chief Marketing Officer for the social loan company, a global fintech. She has also worked across marketing companies, advertising agencies, and a brand consultancy. Some of these world-class companies include Bharti Airtel, Grey Worldwide, Draft FCB Ulka, and BB&A. We are extremely honored to have you with us today, and thank you for being a part of Navdurgas of Sales. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling very good. Thank you. Happy Navratri. Happy Durga Pujo to you, Ria. And thank you for inviting me to be on the show.
Yeah, same to you. You have a very beautiful journey, you have a very great experience. So tell me more about it.
Well, I've been working now for a little over 18 years. I worked in different parts of the world. I'm born and brought up in India. I am currently in Dubai. I've been here for about 6 years. And like you said, I've worked across different kinds of marketing organizations.
Right.
I'm the global CMO for FinTech. So it's really exciting. I think if I was to put my journey in a single line, I think that it's been very unpredictable. And that's what's made it very exciting.
Yeah, that's great. Lovely to hear that. So I just want to ask you, can you tell me the most successful marketing campaign you have ever worked on?
Oh, okay. There are a few, but I'll tell you one which I think is very close to my heart. Everyone in India knows Airtel, the big telco brand.
Yes. Yeah.
So I used to work with Airtel, and I think, when, I don't know if maybe you were too young to remember, but I'll try and tell you anyways. There's a campaign called Har Friend Zaruri Hota Hai, which Airtel did.
Yeah.
So just after that, we did a bunch of campaigns, which was, off the success of that. So that was, of course, the biggest campaign, and all of India and the rest of the world was talking about it. So then the question then became, what do you do after that, right? And what do you do after that became quite a challenge, because how do you follow up something that's so successful? And I think the campaigns that we did after that, based on this theme of friendship and how successful they were, is possibly one of the things that I'm really proud of. Because what happened in that campaign, which was really interesting, was that in that we shifted a company which had 200 million consumers, which is a lot of people, and people across age groups and cities. And we actually found the universal theme that appealed to all of them, which was the idea that we all have different kinds of friends, and how do you sort of bring that together in light, which is fun, which is interesting. So it's been a while since that campaign, but I think it's something that I hold very dear to my heart even now.
Yeah, that's great. So which companies or maybe which brands do you took for marketing inspiration, and why?
There's so many, but I'm going to give you a few which I think really stand, and I'll tell you why I like them. The first lot of brands which I really like are the big brands that the whole world talks about when you think of marketing inspiration. When you think of Nike or Starbucks or Dove or Apple. Now, these are the typical, you ask anybody in the world, they'll tell you these 4 brands, right? But I admire them for a reason which is outside of the fact that they've been so successful for so long. As a marketing person, I can tell you that the toughest thing in marketing is to not constantly be swayed by the next big thing that's happening. So in marketing, we're in love with the next big thing, right? So whenever any new trend comes, we just want to catch on to it because we want to appear cool and young and interesting. What's really difficult in marketing is to have a position which you really believe in, have a strategy that you really believe in, and find a new way to deliver that year after year after year. In marketing, we often give a lot of, we admire brands that change their mind every minute. But I admire brands that have the ability to be both consistent as well as always relevant. So for me, these brands have done a fantastic job of being consistent and relevant.
Yeah, that's great. So what motivates you to do the best?
Oh, I am obsessed with human behavior. I love
Oh,
thinking about consumers, people, societies. I am so curious about, why we do what we do. I mean, just this morning, I wrote a post about Monday morning blues, something I
oh
think
yeah,
everyone,
I read that. Yeah.
yeah. And, I keep thinking about, like, why do we do the things that we do? Why do we make choices the way that we make, right? And the world is really shifting so much. We keep seeing it, technology, COVID, globalization,
Yeah.
whatever. So many trends and things that you see around us. So they really change human behavior. I'm an eternal student of why people behave the way that they do. So that keeps me inspired to keep trying new things, keep making new interesting ideas form in my head, and then bring them out through the brands that I run.
Yeah, great, great. So, do you have, any experience or any resistance when you're leading men, and how you deal with it?
So clearly the answer is yes.
Okay.
And I'll tell you something funny. It doesn't matter what part of the world you're in, because by now I've worked in literally every part of the world, and I worked with, I can't count how many nationalities, right? So initially, being an Indian woman growing up in India, we kind of believe that, okay, maybe outside in the West it'll be better, right? Because
Yeah,
they are more used to women in the workplace.
right.
No, they they just have a different way of expressing that sexism sometimes. They are better, but not by much. I think both men and women resist being led by a woman. So it's not just that the men resist it. And I think it's because we've got so much cultural conditioning that a man who is in a powerful position is much more looked up to than a woman in a powerful position. That's just unconscious bias that we have. So how do I deal with it? I don't pay attention to it.
Oh, you just
Because
ignore.
because see, the thing is that at some point you have to realize who's like how much outside noise do you let into your head, because the further you grow in your life, in any which way, you'll have lots of people telling you that you're wrong, that your idea sucks, that you should stop doing what you're doing. You can't listen to them. You have to listen to yourself.
Yeah. When I was doing my MBA, so I always wanted to go into FMCG sector, because it's all about brands, and it's all about, creative thing. So
Yes.
how the brands are, kaise hota hai, advertising and all. So I was very excited and curious at that time. Always wanted to go. But there many people told me that no, FMCG is not for girls, or no, not for women. You can't go there. No, it's a lot of sales things and all. You can't go there. It's very tough for a woman to do that. So I want your opinion on this. Is it so?
Yes and no. So look, the truth about working in India is that physical safety is an issue.
Yeah.
We can't deny it. As even today, I'm from Delhi. My family's in Delhi. Some of my closest friends are in Delhi. So I come to Delhi a lot. And as independent as I feel in other parts of the world, in my own country, I feel scared. So,
Yeah.
when I wouldn't take a taxi at night. I'll think 20 times before,
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
certain things, which I would do
Yes.
normally, say, here in Dubai. So I agree with your family and friends that there is a physical safety issue. But otherwise, I think that emotionally and mentally, women are much, much stronger than we give them credit for.
Yeah.
Women don't give each other credit for how strong we are.
Yeah.
So I think that I'm sorry you didn't go into FMCG. You can still come into advertising, marketing whenever you want. It's fascinating. So
Yeah, I'm sure it would be.
yeah. So next time, just follow your gut.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as you told that women are not safe when it comes to when it comes to sales or maybe any other domain. So it is generally believe that Indian women give more emphasis to their motherly role, rather than venturing for a career, right? So if they want to plan or settle, they would rather pick up a 9 to 5 job, a safe job, right?
Yes.
So what you think about it?
So, there's this old saying, which is that, you can have it all. I don't believe you can have it all. Because if you try to have it all, you'll have a mental breakdown. Okay. So there is no doubt in my mind that as a woman, you have to make very tough choices, because women are expected to be very good wives and very good mothers and very good in their family.
Right.
If they're not that, then whatever success they have at work is immaterial. Okay. So there is that cultural truth which is very much there in India. And therefore, the way that I think about it is that the person that you choose to spend your life with has to be someone that understands that you are much more than a wife, a mother, a daughter-in-law. When you have that person, hold on to that person and build your career and your life with that person. If you don't have that person, then frankly, you can't. I don't know if I'm sounding cynical. This is not a very, feminist view. I should be saying, no, you can do it. But realistically, I think that's why the person that you choose to marry really is the most critical decision, not just in your personal life, but also your professional life.
Right. So whenever you will get the right person, get married.
Yeah. When the guy supports your career, that's the flag. And say, okay, now I'll marry you.
Yeah. Keeping in mind the social and cultural bondages, it generally cuts down the women's confidence, or maybe we can say boldness.
Yes.
So what steps you would want a woman to take in such situation?
I tell, whenever I do interviews, I talk about this a lot. And and the reason I talk about it is because I believe in it so much. Everything that you're describing so far, right? That journey of what will happen. I have to listen to my parents, my family. Then I have to be a wife and a mother more than I have to be anything else, etc., etc. I've been through that journey of constantly questioning myself. And I think women really question themselves all the time. So it's scientifically proven that men are very hopeful and women are very self-critical. So men are very hopeful that they're going to succeed in everything that they do. And I love that. Why not? But women don't feel that way. So my one piece of advice that I would give over and over again to anyone, regardless of gender, but also for women in specific, please believe in yourself. Because the more you believe in yourself, the easier the journey becomes. Because then every time someone tries to be an obstacle in your path, and there'll be many obstacles in your path, the only way you'll find yourself back on the path is if you believe in yourself. So that's my one big piece of advice.
Yeah, right. So by this, people, especially women, started to give up things very easily, because when the responsibility comes in, like now she got married, she had kids now, and she has a lot of responsibility of her family, of her husband, or maybe kids and all. So she starts giving up on things. So she will leave the job and she'll become a housewife and all. So how would you encourage a woman to not give up?
It's very difficult, because you have the most critical decision you have to make in your life is, who do you want to be?
Yeah.
Right. And see, in India, and being an Indian woman, you know this and I know this, that we are encouraged to follow the path that's already decided or laid out in front of us.
Right.
When a man, Indian man, and this is changing now, but typically when a man wants to make brave decisions, we are more likely to support that than when a woman does it, right? Yeah. Which is why even now, if a woman gets divorced or she chooses not to marry, it's considered like a bad thing, that something's wrong with her. So rather than hope for society to change in our lifetime, these big changes are not going to happen. These have been around for many decades, many hundreds of years.
Right.
So you can't change people, but what you can do is change yourself. And the way that I find to change myself is that I think that today the world is a very different place than it was even 5-10 years ago. People's mindset have changed. So my advice is go and find people who are like your tribe, people who you know will connect with your ideas. Because those people will create a new reality for you. They'll encourage you, they'll tell you to go for your dreams and be unafraid and be bold. Or you can choose to say in the same people who tell you, no, no, it's bad, it's bad. So it's not easy because at some point, like I said, you have to decide this is who I am, this is what I believe in, this is the sacrifice I'm willing to make for what I believe in. Because if you can't sacrifice something, you'll never gain anything, you know? So it's not an easy answer, but that's my answer.
Right. So what success means to you?
Freedom. In the first part of my career, the first 8-10 years, I sacrificed a lot of my time in order to be successful. So, you know, I was like, I'll do the project, I'll work really hard, weekends, no problem, pick me, you know. Over a period of time, I realized that the thing that I value a lot, of course, money is very important, reputation is very important, but I really value my time and my freedom. And when I have time to do the things that I'm passionate about, it changes everything for me. So for me, success is having the freedom of time.
Lovely. So there have been a very few women who are in this domain.
Yes.
I mean, who are at the top position in this domain. So why is it so?
Because most women, like you said, give up.
Yeah.
Because like, you know, we're discussing, it takes, no one's going to make it easy for you. I mean, this is, I don't want to bash men here, but even men have their struggles, women have their struggles.
Yeah.
Very few, actually, when you think about it, how many men make it to the top? Few. How many women make it to the top? Very few. And the reasons are pretty similar. They give up. Both men and women give up. So never giving up is what gets you, you know, and you have to be clear that this is what you want, because it will take a sacrifice of your time. You will have to give up on things to get here. It's not going to come without a cost. So you have to be willing to pay the cost.
Yeah, right. I agree. You know, I'm really loving this conversation that we are having about season marketing. So it's great to talking to you.
Thank you so much, Riya. Thank you so much.
So what skills are necessary in marketing according to you?
Quite a few. But let me give you a couple which I think really help. I think you have to love people. Because our entire job is about storytelling. If you want to be a good storyteller, you have to genuinely love consumers. You have to love people. You have to care about making, you know, care about the impact that story has on someone. So I think that there has to be a genuine love of people, which I think is important. Creativity is a very fat word, so it means many things. But I just think that for me, what creativity means is that when you look at something, you don't see what's obvious. You can see something that it can be, which is not obvious, right? And that's what creativity is, when you can imagine the potential or something. So people who are typically imaginative, bold and ambitious in the way that they think, they find marketing exciting. And the third is, I think now, because there's so much data that we have as marketers, it's very interesting because there's the art and the science of marketing. So the art is the storytelling, understanding people, creativity. The science is very much about data. What is the data telling you? How are consumers doing? How do you create lead generation? How do you do performance marketing well? How do you deliver business KPIs? So that mix, I think, is very unique. It challenges everyone, but when you get it, it's amazing.
Yeah, and also one should know the current market trends, because what's going on in the market, one should always know.
Always.
What our competitors are doing and what we are lagging behind. So that is, I guess, one of the important things.
So I don't yes, you must always know competitors and market trends. But I'll tell you something with Jeff Bezos of Amazon, he always speaks about for many years, even before he became Jeff Bezos and Amazon, he always used to tell his teams that focus on your consumer and not your competitor, because your competitor will always tell you what has been done, but your consumer is the one who's paying the money and will tell you what needs to be done. So he always used to say, don't be afraid of your competitors, be afraid of your consumer. So I love that philosophy. And that's why my secret is to always be obsessed with consumers.
Great, I agree. So what is your most significant professional achievement you ever had?
Oh my gosh.
Because that is one of the memorable thing, no? We can't forget that.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've been very lucky. I've had many people give me a lot of respect and awards, and I've worked with some of the best companies, some of which you name. So I can't complain. I think my most significant achievement is that I've worked with so many diverse people in so many different parts of the world. Why that is significant is because it's the hardest thing to do. You know, like when I'm talking to you, for example, you're Indian, I'm Indian, we're both women. We're speaking words, but I understand your verbal body language as well, because we come from the same background.
Yeah.
It's not the same when you talk to people of so many different nationalities, because there's so many things you're not picking up on. So you have to learn, unlearn. You have to recalibrate every time you meet people in a different geography, in a different nation. So to be truly open to meeting and working and living amongst people of so many nationalities, I think is my biggest achievement. And I hope I always get to do that.
Yeah. So was it difficult for you to build your personal brand?
Yeah, I have to work in it every single day. It's look, I'll tell you, it's never easy. It's never easy because see that it feels so easy, right? What's the big deal? Set up an account, you know, you don't even have to buy a video, and like you don't have to buy a camera. You just, take a selfie video and upload it. How hard can that be? Yeah. How hard is it to do all of those things? But no, if you want to build a brand that stands head and shoulders above anyone else, then you have to work at it. It's like a second job. So I strongly suggest that you should know why you're doing it before you do it.
Yeah. So, do you think that women face hard times in getting promoted?
Yes, but that's because we don't ask for a raise. Women hesitate. Women want to be validated. So a woman wants the boss, whether it's a man or a woman boss, to come up to her and say, hey, you did such a great job, Ria. I'm going to promote you and I'm going to give you a raise and I'm going to make you whatever you want in the company. No, that's never going to happen. Yeah. What's going to happen instead is that you're going to walk up and say, this is what I've done and this is why I deserve what I do. Women wait to be validated and then we sulk when we are not. But the reality is that you have to go, and if you don't value yourself, no one else will. So I think that's the reason women don't get promoted. And the second reason is women drop out of the corporate life too early. Right. So, it's like the first few 7, 8, 10 years of your career, you're still building. It's only after 10, 12 years, then the compound interest of your career starts happening, when every year you feel like you're moving 4, 5 years ahead. You have to wait for that moment of glory. You can't have it happen too early. And women, I think, drop off too early. Yeah,
right. So, how you manage your personal life as well as your professional life?
Oh, God. It's very hard. It's very, very hard. Sorry?
Difficult to answer.
No, it's not, because I remember what I was saying about find yourself a partner who understands. That's tip number 1. No, but on a serious note, I guard my weekends. It's almost impossible for someone to talk to me about work on a weekend unless it's very important.
Yeah.
And when it is very important, I explain why it's important. So I think it's about, you're constantly juggling. So there's no doubt about that's always going to happen. But yeah, I think I'm doing a good job so far.
You are.
Yeah, no complaints yet on my personal life and professional life juggling. I think I'll find out and let you know.
Sure, definitely. I'll ask you later.
Yes,
On.
please.
You have such a beautiful experience, such a beautiful journey, and you have seen all the things happening in front of your eyes. So, what advice you want to give to the newcomers who want to come in this domain of sales and marketing?
The same advice that I think. So it happened to me by luck, but if I have to give advice to someone who is, getting into this, find really good mentors.
Yeah.
When you find, I got really lucky. From as long as I can remember, I found really good mentors along the way, and they taught me so much. And the funny thing is that what they've taught me, I still think about it now, and I think I understand it better now, perhaps, than I did then. But it changes your life because you play at a different level when you have strong mentors around you. So that would be my advice: go out there and find yourself mentors and people that you really believe in and who believe in you, and it's a game changer.
Yeah. Yes. Perfect. Lovely. So, what are your future plans or maybe goals from now?
Oh my God.
I know you're a CMO, but still, what are
Oh,
you?
I have so many.
Okay.
I think I want to find ways to give back more. That's really important to me. I think that we've become too consumerist. That's a funny thing for a marketer to say. I mean, that's what I do all day: tell people to buy stuff, and then I'm saying we buy too much stuff. I think I want to focus on being a voice for living in a different way, a different way of leadership, a different way of living, one that isn't about just acquiring stuff, that isn't about chasing success blindly. I think it is very important for us to have more meaning in our lives. And that meaning doesn't come from being blind and distracted all the time. So, I've been in tech, I've been in social media, I've been in advertising and marketing. And it's funny because I see the impact that it has and the negative impact that it has. So we've gone from social media marketing being good things to being very dangerous things, because we're spreading misinformation. We're buying, people are in debt because they're trying to keep up with someone else in the neighborhood, So I think we've lost perspective. So what I want to do is work actively with other people, because you can't do it alone, on how do you actually change that trend around. So that's one thing that I'm really keen on doing. So watch this space. I'll tell you what I'm doing about it soon. That's one.
Definitely.
And the second is, I feel like marketers in this country, in the world, we need to be better at what we do. I think 99%, can I say shit on your show? 99% of what marketing people do is shit. I think we need to stop doing shitty things and do better things. And the second thing that I want to do is, again, go into how do we get better marketers to come up. So like you were saying, the people who are up and coming, I want them to be great, not, shitty.
Right. Wow. I'm loving it. It's great talking to you. There is so much to learn from you about marketing.
Oh, thank you, Ria.
About the current trends, about brands, so, thank you so much, first of all, for coming
My
in
pleasure.
here and being a part of Navdurgas.
Thank you.
I must say, you are a real Durga.
Thank you so much.
Everyone will get inspired by your lovely words. So thank you so much once again for coming in here and making it a huge success.
Thank you, Ria. Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure talking to you. You have amazing energy, very contagious, positive energy. I wish you all the very best. Thank you. I do feel like a Navdurga. I do feel like that. Thank you so much for inviting me, and happy holidays to everyone.
Yeah, wish you the same. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.